The CALL7 investigators with new information in our ongoing look into exposing critical errors and a lack of accountability within the Department of Corrections. 5 months after the murders of Tom Clements and Nate Leon, new reports released today do little to address the problems we exposed.
This review from the National Institute of Corrections is obviously a response to a number of questions, very legitimate questions that were raised about the state's parole operations.
Governor Hickenlooper and new Corrections Director Rick Ramish unveiling nearly 60 pages of analysis of parole operations, the focus largely on inmate behavior.
It's not a report card. It wasn't an audit. We don't get an A or a C or a D or an F. But what we get is direction.
The direction isn't all that different. The report's largely restating many common sense policies and goals. In Ramish's words, having unified case plans for inmates and tightening up policies when using electronic monitoring, a direct response to Evan Ebel's murder spree when alerts to his parole officer were ignored.
When the chain of command fails in that way, was anyone held accountable in that instance where Evan Ebel went off the grid for 6 days? And if so, what were the consequences?
You know, I can answer that by saying yes, there were consequences. I can't get into personnel matters because it is a personnel matter. I can say that that problem has been rectified.
Those consequences are questionable. I uncovered the parole officer who botched Evan Ebel's case was placed on the new Fugitive Apprehension Unit. And this analysis practically ignores the need for a greater level of accountability.
When Evan Ebel murdered the former director, Tom Clements, and Nate Leon, the equipment was working. It was the personnel who failed. What in this report addresses that problem?
The report recommended is that, and something that has not been done, frankly, that needs to be done, is that there needs to be more direction for the parole officers within those policies involving electronic monitoring.
The lack of specific policies has been a common excuse for many of the errors made by parole, but Ramish says that will be addressed. He also admits funding had been erroneously used in the past as a reason not to put dangerous offenders on ankle monitors. I'm going to break down more of that report at 10, including potential conflicts of interest I've uncovered that bring these reports into question.